Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your co-pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue on this journey of learning just one Chinese character in a set of phrase to another. And here we go. 劳苦功高,劳苦功高. What we learned yesterday? We talked about you have this bitter process when you're laboring, but the result, the gains at the end is going to be high. So we use the high to, just like high achievement, right? In English, we use high to describe the rewarding part. And we use the taste of bitter to describe the process to get there. And 苦大仇深 is today's phrase. And 苦 is the same bitterness. It came from the taste, the mouth, and also the plant-based, I guess it's medicine most of the time, that's bitter. So that's the symbol as the taste. And eventually from that taste, it's extended into suffering in general. It's a good indicator of, okay, it's not an enjoyable process, but you have to do it. It's suffering, 苦. 苦大仇深, 大, okay, we talked about this before. It's basically human figure without head portion, right? But we can view it as this is the human figure, simplified, just a stick figure. And then when you spread out your arms horizontal and make a starfish shape, that's the biggest, the space you can extend into, right? So that's used to imply it's spread out to the full extent, and that's your big form. You can also have smaller form, right? But that's the big form. Okay, just imagine that. 苦大仇深. Okay, 仇. This word is very interesting because before I check it up, I have no clue. I know there's a person symbol. This is the small simplified human figure because it's taking too much space. So it's kind of squished to the side. It becomes like this. You can still see the structure here, that two strokes to construct this human figure sideways. Okay, so that's the meaning. You got a human involved, right? And the right side is our number 9. So it pronounced as 9. I was thinking, okay, so this is sound maker, meaning maker, something related to a person, and it's number 9, but it turned out, okay, when I tried to check up the ancient wording description of that, it's like this. So 人, human, a person on the side looks like this, a person, right? And this actually is another 人, but it's a curvier version of this 人. You see, it's another 2 legs, similar structure, but it's constructed and curved. A little bit different, right? So actually, this is the ancient philosophy about cross-gender relationship in I guess a marriage situation. I'm not sure about the marriage institution back then, but it's like, okay, you have, I guess, 人, because literature men mostly are men, so they would self-refer themselves as 人, this stick figure thing on the set, on the one side, right? On the right side, it's obviously a female, right? Because it's curvier, right? So you have men and women next to it. So that's the kind of situation you're in. Why it becomes hatred, right? Like why? They cannot be living in peace. And they turn out, right? We have another word that means good or happy wife situation. So if it's a good wife or wife good to you, that's called a 贫. But if it's a wife that's bad to you or make you suffer, that's 仇. So this 仇 word actually came from a bad marriage, I guess. So it's like the man, whoever come up with this word describing the suffering situation, and he is in an unhappy relationship with a woman. And we got that as the origin of 仇. It's kind of sensible, I guess, because that's close relationship probably make you hurt the worst. So 仇 eventually extended to any kind of ill feeling between two individuals, not necessarily in an intimate relationship, but it's hatred in general. And 深, this came from, with the water sign on the side. It's simply deep water, because I guess in the ancient times, space is hard to measure. It looks like flat to us, right? Because you cannot go up and explore it, but water somehow you can, right? You can dive in to a certain extent and then come up. And that's the concept of 深, like deep, you can go into the water. So we use water to come up with the concept of if it's deep or shallow. 苦大仇深 actually is a propaganda phrase. Back then, that you can see, this is 1971 poster of communists describing this kind of capture, this anger, this hatred, relating themselves to 1871. So 100 years ago, that was the French Revolution. So it was, anyway, it's a rebellion of the the suffering majority people, unhappy about the situation of the society. They want to rebel. They have guns in hand, right? They have a lot of bitterness, and it's really big bitterness, and it's a lot of hatred. It's really deep hatred. So I translate as deep resentment. And that phrase 苦大仇深, when you heard it, I mean, as a Chinese, automatically we know, okay, this is this kind of 1971 sentiment that we're describing. All right, cashing to the currency of thinking. In this particular currency, it's Chinese thinking that I'm sharing here. And just one expression a day, one word a day. This is Sophie. See you another day.